After 10 years of using iPhones, I've finally left the camp. I tried with the Google Pixel for a while there, didn't like how it interacted with my environment, with my Mac environment, but S21 Ultra, the Samsung beast, well, that convinced me to do it. So in this video, I'm going to explain why I've done it and how I did it, and if you're someone sitting on the fence, it's definitely worth watching this video. G'day guys, Shane Austin here. Each week I do 2 videos all about small sensor photography. That is your mobile phones, action cams, and that sort of thing. So if you're into that sort of thing, especially with the low light sort of photography that we do here, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you see what I do each and every week. If you have subscribed, you're a bloody legend. If you're new here, everything I'm talking about here today is in the description down below. And what we are talking about today is why I've left the iOS camp, as in left the iPhones, and moved over to Androids. Now, from way back early in the day, I've had iPhone 3, 4, 5S, 6, iPhone X, iPhone 11 Pro, iPhone 12 Pro Max. And look, I'll be honest, everything that I do around photography and stuff is being built around those phones. I run an iMac, iPads. I don't have an Apple Watch. I've never really been into that sort of thing. But for everything else, my environment here is a Mac environment. So why did I even start looking at changing phones? Well, I've been shooting on this channel here now for the best part of a year, and it's all mainly been around iPhones. And then I got the Pixel 4a and I just went, whoa, this thing takes amazing photos at night. Then the Samsung S21 Ultra came out and I was just blown away. This channel's all about low light photography, and I've got to bring you guys the best that I can, and this is what it can do. So I was in two minds about, do I go away from the iOS and straight into Android? Because I ran with that Pixel 4a for some time, and there was a few things about it that were just deal breakers for me. It took great photos at night, which is what I really wanted. It took reasonably good photos during the day, which is, you know, it's a budget sort of camera. But the thing that really got to me was getting the photos from the Pixel 4a and putting them over onto my Mac. And it was an absolute pain. Every time I did it, I was like, there's got to be a better way to do this. And I searched and searched and searched, couldn't find any other way to do it. Then putting it up onto the Google Drive and bringing it down onto the Mac. And to be honest, that was just a massive pain in the bum. But when it came to the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, there were a lot of really good reviews on this thing all over YouTube. And well, I took the plunge, put the SIM card in there, and well, I've been using it for a while now and I'm pretty happy with it. Now, the regular viewers on this channel, you guys know when the very first video I did with the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, all about astrophotography, I'll link it at the top here. I sat there and I called this thing ugly. The camera bezel on this thing, I didn't like the look of it. That's personal choice. It's my personal choice. And a lot of you Samsung boys, your fanboys just went to town. It's like, it's not bloody ugly. Well, it's look a personal thing. And if you look at this thing and you be honest with yourself, all those lenses, they kind of offset each other. If it lined up better, well, I would have liked it better. But this thing's a pretty expensive camera, pretty expensive phone. Of course, you're going to put a case on this thing, and this is the case that I've got. It's a life-proof case. They take a bit of ocean plastic, all the rubbish that we put out there, they recycle some of this, and they turn them into phone cases. Now, I lead a pretty sort of rough and rumble sort of day-to-day activities. I'm out on the farm doing different things. So my cameras and my phone, it kind of gets knocked around a bit. And I've been running with the iPhone 12 Pro Max for, well, since it came out. And I've had that in my pocket every day since it came out. And I've had this life-proof case on there, and look, it's just well, I won't say it's bulletproof, and I won't say it's perfect. But look, in the lifestyle that I lead, I've never had this thing, I've dropped it on concrete so many times, I've never had a problem with it. So I've put the case, I went and ordered a new one of those from Lifeproof, and I've put it onto the Samsung Galaxy S21 because it's got these little waves in it. It's called Wake, this particular model. I'll link it down the bottom. And I think it offsets it quite well. It comes in different colors. I've got the blue one just so I could tell the difference between the iPhone 12 and the S21 at a glance when they're sitting on the desk. But I'm pretty happy with this thing. And because it's got those waves on it, I think it kind of complements, if you like, the bezel that's on that camera. And I'm learning to live with it. But look, who cares what it looks like? This bloody thing, when it's out there taking photos, it's just amazing. How does it compare though with the iPhone 12 Pro Max and taking regular sort of photos? Because obviously I take a lot of other like regular photos during the day. Well, here's a series of photos and you tell me if you know which one's which. So I went out this morning and I took some photos with both of the phones, regular sort of photos during the day of the garden park that's in the town that I live in, the street, and we'll zoom into some parts here and we'll see just how good they are. I did some wide angle stuff, regular lens, and then some telephoto stuff, and obviously the telephoto on the Ultra, it just absolutely blows the iPhone out of the water. It's amazing. The other thing is, how did I get these photos now from the Galaxy onto the Mac? Well, honestly, it's dead set simple. It comes with a charging cable. You plug that USB into the back of the Mac, plug it into the phone. You've got this program that you download and install. It's an Android handshake and an Android file transfer. And it's almost as good as just airdropping photos from your phone to your Mac. You plug this thing in, drag and drop into the folders that you want, and it's dead set simple. It's as, well, I like it. I'm happy with how the photos transfer. I'm happy with that setup. So that's a massive tick in the box as far as I'm concerned, going from iPhone to Android. But what about video? A lot of you guys may not well know that a lot of the B-roll that I shoot on this channel, I actually shoot it with my phone, with my iPhone 12 Pro Max. So it's pretty important to me to be able to shoot the same sort of quality video that I can with the iPhone 12. So how'd that work? Well, this video here is from the iPhone. And this video here is from the Samsung. Now, I didn't include the sound in this because it was hellish windy day, and there's no point. I wouldn't have shot this and used the audio from any camera with the amount of wind that I had out there. It was just horrendous. But look, the quality of these and zooming in between while we're still shooting on both of those cameras, it's pretty cool. Went even further with the Samsung, and that's pretty impressive. One of the sayings around iPhone versus Android is that on an iPhone you're a user and on an Android you're the admin, and this basically means you can customize the absolute bejesus out of an Android phone and make it really unique and make it your own, and I've started doing that, and well, we could sit here for hours talking about that. There's so many things that you can do. Sure, you can replace widgets or change widgets around on the iPhone. It's not that intuitive. It's not as intuitive as an iPhone really should be. The difference between the two phones, though, in my day-to-day use, is that with the iPhone, the face recognition, it's okay. And you may have seen on other videos at night time when I've got the phone horizontal taking photos of the night sky, face recognition just doesn't work. And in this day and age when everyone's wearing masks, well, your facial recognition doesn't work anyway, and you probably end up putting in PIN numbers regardless. One of the things I really liked about the Pixel phone was the fingerprint sensor on the back. And with the S21 Ultra, you've got the fingerprint reader right there. And to be honest, it's pretty quick. As quick as that. The size of the two phones, well, they're big phones. Now and then I'll use my wife's phone to take some video, and she's using my old iPhone 11 Pro, and I always feel like, wow, this is a tiny phone every time I pick it up. But these two phones, well, the iPhone, it's a fairly big phone. It's a wider phone and a shorter phone than the S21 Ultra. They're basically the same sort of size. If you can use one, you can use the other. But because the S21's a little bit narrower, as in this way, I actually don't mind using this. I can hold this in my hand and use my thumb to get all around the place, and I don't exactly have big hands. You know what they say about blokes with little hands? Little gloves. I find that the refresh rate, the screen refresh rate on the S21 is quicker than the iPhone, and I don't play games really. You might find a game on my phone occasionally if I'm sitting somewhere just waiting for something to happen and I'm absolutely bored out of my brain at an airport or something like that. But I mainly see it in editing, especially with video. When I'm editing videos on my phone, I do that a little bit, especially with the shorts that I put on this channel. When I'm editing video, the refresh rate on the Galaxy just seems to be a damn sight quicker than what the iPhone is. Don't get me wrong, these are both very bloody good phones. I just changed camp mainly because of what I can do with this, the Galaxy, at night. The similarities between these two phones, well, there's a lot of similarities. One, they both come in a black box. Two, neither of them have a bloody charger. And three, neither of them came with headphones either. They're both expensive phones without all that gear in them. And there's other things that I've touched on this channel before when I've talked about Androids and iPhones. And I'm not talking necessarily about this versus this. This is just something that, well, we all win. What I will say though is that the iPhone, it put out 3, 4, 5 phones a year, and it's the same model, and that's it. On the Android side of things, there's different manufacturers making Android phones. All the app developers need to make the same apps for the iPhone, only 4 or 5 a year, versus Android, hundreds a year. So you are definitely going to find apps that you have on the iPhone that just don't exist on the Android system. There are certainly apps that I use on the iPhone that aren't around on the Android, and it's absolutely not been a deal breaker. There's nothing that I've found so far that I've gone, I'm definitely not doing that because the Android doesn't have it. At the end of the day, I'm quite happy with my decision. I'm making some bloody good content for this channel for you guys to watch, and I'm enjoying the system. All right, guys, I'll talk to you next week.